Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As we welcome you once again to In Conversation with myself, Inayat Wadi, on this Wednesday evening. And wonderful being with you once again, our listeners, our viewers on the various platforms of Salam Media. And tonight's broadcast is an all important broadcast. One cannot emphasize enough how critical this broadcast is for many of us right across the entire world, but particularly looking at us in South Africa. We are going to be focusing on Gaza, and Gaza literally breathing its last. And we've seen in the last few weeks and since March, we've seen the intensification across all areas of the Gaza Strip from north to south. And we've seen the number of martyrs increasing. And once again, as the Zionist entity has resumed its full genocidal campaign in Gaza, we are seeing even Palestinians posting final messages, letters of farewell on social media. And when you hear comments like, it seems we won't make it this time, it's only a matter of days, and everyone will be martyred. This is how critical, this is how crucial it is. And this requires action. It requires action in more ways than one. It requires a global response. But let's look at it from a South African perspective and a South African response. Because when one looks at the betrayal of the people of Palestine, and we are talking about the Muslim world, we are talking about the Arab world, we are talking about the leadership, we are talking about the governments, and particularly right next door to Gaza is Egypt. And we've seen their rhetorical solidarity with the Palestinians, in fact, being repeated over and over again. But when it comes to concrete action, when it comes to what really matters, we are talking about the Rafah crossing, which is right next door to Palestine. And at this point in time, the Egyptians giving the impression to the world that they are impotent as far as the Rafah crossing is concerned. And this is the demand. This is a demand that is going to be made globally. This is a demand that we are going to be making here in South Africa. And this is the reason why an Egypt Action Coalition has been formed in South Africa for a number of reasons. One is to put pressure on Egypt to open the Rafah aid into Gaza, and the Rafah crossing for aid into Gaza, and also to place obligations and responsibility within ourselves, within the Muslim community, and we all need to work together in support. And this is right across the entire board, and this is the reason why we are hosting this broadcast. Now, we've got quite a number of people throughout this entire broadcast from now right until 9 p.m. Leading the coalition, or the Action Coalition, is the Director of Social Intifada, Khalid Vawda. We've got Moulana Abdul Khaliq Ali, who will be joining us as well, the UQSA President, until around 8 p.m. From 7:30 p.m., we are joined by a number of people from various migrant communities who are now in South Africa. Dr. Hafiz Nadim Ahmed, Islamic Circle of Southern Africa. We've got Umayyad Teba from the South African Friends of Palestine. Sheikh Ahmed Jamal, member of the Egyptian community. We've got Mohammed Mehdi Pertikel, head of the Africa Youth Association. And we've got Shamshad Sayed joining us from the South African Women United for Gaza. Now, these are just a few of the people who have pledged their support towards this campaign. We have had Sheikh Ahmed Jamal will talk about some of the other communities, and we know we're all feeling it right now, whether you are Somali, whether you're Pakistani, whether you come from Bangladesh, whether you're from Turkey, whichever part of the world you are, and you are residing in South Africa at this point in time, this is an appeal that is going to go out, and united, we need to take this case. And let's go across now to be joined firstly on screen by none other than Brother Khalid Vawda, and I'm hoping Moulana Abdul Khaliq Ali will be joining us very, very shortly as well. Brother Khalid, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, and Jazakallah khairan so much for your time.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair for having us, and greetings to all the listeners and viewers.
Yes, and I've seen Moulana Abdul Khaliq Ali there briefly. I'm hoping he hasn't got disconnected. But Khalid, while we are waiting for Moulana Abdul Khaliq Ali to connect, one cannot emphasize how critical this is, how crucial it is, and more importantly, what our response to what is taking place in Gaza as we've seen the resumption of this genocide unfolding.
Yes, absolutely. So since Israel broke the ceasefire, they've massacred and they've been going in harder than before. Not to say that the genocide prior to that wasn't deadly and devastating, but they've just gone in completely, savagely. And today we've seen as well that there's a new armament of weapons that are being shipped from the United States through to Israel in order for them to continue the savage bombing and the genocide and the Holocaust that they're perpetrating on Gaza. Not being satisfied with just massacring the people of Gaza, crucially, there's been a blockade of Gaza that's been taking place since the beginning of March, where no aid is being allowed in, absolutely nothing. So we've been, during the month of Ramadan, we ran a few feeding projects in Gaza City specifically. We cannot even continue those now after Ramadan because the volunteers on the ground in Gaza are telling us there's not much food available. We had a global meeting with activists and organizations 2 weekends ago, and one of the doctors who had returned from Gaza is a UK doctor, neurosurgeon, was saying that when he spoke to the aid agencies in Gaza, they're saying to him, and that was a week or two ago, that the food situation in Gaza, and this is basic necessities, it's not even anything elaborate. They're estimating about 3 weeks for the food piles to run out. So on the one hand, they're bombing Gaza, they're shredding our children to pieces, and on the other hand, they're blocking any form of food, aid, medical supplies, all of those things going into Gaza. We know that there's so many trucks that have been piled up at the border, at the Egyptian border, the Rafah crossing into Gaza. And a lot of the perishables are now starting to rot, and it's excessive heat. These trucks are all piled up. So, there's an urgent need for intervention. And sadly, not surprisingly though, the regimes have not done anything. We've been shouting from the rooftops for the last 18 months. People in Gaza have been crying out. People in the West Bank have been crying out all over Palestine, activists all over the world, scholars and du'at all over the world. Non-Muslims who've been very vociferous in their support for Palestine have been calling out, but this has been falling on deaf ears. So it's time to apply a different type of pressure, and we're hoping that this initiative can be the start of that. And the primary reason we're looking at Egypt here is because of the Rafah crossing, and this is an emergency. This is nothing short of an emergency because of the aid that needs to get into Gaza, and the people in Gaza who require immediate medical assistance, urgent medical assistance, are able to leave and go to Egypt or wherever it is that the medical procedures are taking. This has absolutely zero support for any of the evacuation plans and the displacement of the people of Gaza, but it's limited specifically to aid going into Gaza, and it's for medical evacuees to be able to leave Gaza.
Is on Moulana. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Haji Inayat, and to our honorable brother Khalid, and to all the viewers of Salam Media.
Yes, Moulana. In fact, Khalid obviously has put context into what we actually want to discuss and what this campaign is all about as well. And he alluded to the meeting that we had just over 2 weeks ago with some of the global players, Dr. Ismail Adam and many other global players we've seen right across the entire world, who have now come to terms that we have reached a very, very critical juncture. And once again, we've seen protests across the entire world. But as Khalid mentioned, a different strategy is required. And now is the time, and particularly when we look at the governments, the Arab governments that have been complicit with Israel in this genocide and just empty rhetoric being repeated over and over again. That strategy at this point in time is absolutely necessary for what we have obviously planned in terms of the action that we wish to take in terms of a protest against the Egyptian embassy.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Indeed, we are witnessing in the 15th century of Islam, which has not been witnessed anywhere in the world. And we are dictated by the devastating circumstances from Gaza. We are guided by their devastation, their dehumanization circumstances that they find themselves in. Their situation where they bury their children, where fathers are no longer present, where mothers are running with their beautiful children. We are dictated by that particular circumstances of an emergency that we have to take the emergency steps and strategies which are now become a farad upon us. It has become a necessity upon the global community to say what strategies are required for us to do and to showcase that urgency and that particular emergency. And so, yes, flowing from that international meeting, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, and I'm extremely grateful that our brothers, they've applied their minds and their hearts and have come up with this particular plan of action, calls for Rafah border, the crossing to open permanently and unconditionally. I mean, if you consider the fact that you have a neighbor next door, and that neighbor, there's a starvation that you are knowledgeable about, that you know that the water has been turned off, you know that there is sickness and ailment and there is diseases that is happening right next door to you. What further do we need in terms of calling upon the neighbor to say, go out, reach out, you need to open up your door, you need to be able to be supportive, you need to take a cup of water, you need to take a plate of food to your neighbor next door. I mean, that is just a scenario that is created. What happens in Gaza, the horror of starvation, the horror of starvation is a reality where the people in Gaza are being strangled. They have been placed in this particular position. And then further to it, I mean, they are bombarded. They are bombed to smithereens. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Where is the heart of the ummah? What is happening with the ummah that we cannot identify with this particular crisis and the predicament that our brothers and our sisters and the children are finding themselves in, and be able to say, people, we need to open up this particular border. We cannot be dictated by the Zionist occupation, where they have placed this particular restriction of trucks going in and food are rotting on the borders of Egypt. And is there no force? Is the world not seeing this? I'm most certain that people are knowing what is happening here. Civil society has to rise. Civil society needs to stand up. And we are extremely grateful to the ANC-led government last year when they took up this particular matter and lodged the case at the ICJ. We are obviously motivated and inspired by the fact that our South African government has led an action which no other country has led. And if so, South Africans today, if we have to stand and lead this particular campaign to say to the global community, let's stand for and make the call for Rafah to be opened, and where medicines can be able to be taken through the border, the food trucks to be allowed, water trucks to be allowed, and for the evacuation of the injured and the sickly and permanent sickly people to be brought out, then we need to lead that particular campaign. And I'm grateful that we are here at that particular point where we are going to make this global call as well, to be able to say, let's mobilize for the Rafah border to be opened.
mobilizing for the Rafah crossing to be opened. And once again, one cannot emphasize how critical and how crucial this is, because we cannot wait any longer. As the world is watching this genocide unfold, history will actually judge us. History will judge the Ummah. History will judge the Arab governments. History will judge the Egyptian government for its inaction at this point in time. And this, if we put this entire campaign into context, is the gist of it, is we need to see many of these countries, and just beginning with the Egyptian government as well, that there is no more time to listen to empty rhetoric. You need to act. You need to act now. You need to act fast, and you need to act with purpose at the end of the day, and sincerity as well. And this is going to be the key issue, and this is going to be the call that is going to be made to the Egyptian government.
Absolutely. So, as Moulana Abdul Khaliq has mentioned, because authorities have failed in their responsibilities, or they've actively colluded with the oppressors in order to bring difficulty and harm on the people of Palestine, it's imperative that civil society rises up. And we know when you're speaking to family, you're speaking to friends, you're speaking to colleagues, you can sense there's a universal anger in people's hearts, and nobody wants to see. I mean, the images that we're seeing coming out of Gaza and the videos that we're seeing coming out of Gaza are extremely difficult for any human being to watch, irrespective of faith, irrespective of ethnicity. If anybody's got a single shred of humanity within them, observing these images and videos is extremely difficult, because it alters your psychology. When you see graphic violence of this proportion, it alters your psychology. We need to ask ourselves as Muslims, we have a responsibility before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Each and every one of us. Yes, the authorities have more power. They can achieve a lot more in a shorter space of time. But if they fail to act, if they fail to discharge their responsibilities, and if we as the people do not hold them accountable, and if we as a people continue to look away and make excuses for them, where does that leave us in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because we're all going to have to answer in front of Allah individually. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is not going to come and stand next to me on the day of Qiyamah and answer for me. Mohammed bin Salman is not going to do the same. They've got their own crimes to be concerned about. When we have Hind Rajab calling out on the day of Qiyamah, where was the Ummah when the Israeli devils shot 355 bullets into the car and murdered me alongside my family? What is our response going to be? So this has to wake us up from within as Muslims. We have a responsibility. And we are, like Moulana said, we're extremely grateful to the government and to everybody who's put the case together. It doesn't stop there. We cannot sit back now and say our job is done because the government lodged the case at the ICJ. The wheels of justice, the saying, the wheels of justice take forever to turn. We have obligations before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is imperative that each and every one of us realizes. And with this intent and with this focus is when we launched a global call. Alhamdulillah, we had activists from every continent except South America on a global video that went out on our Instagram platform. And our responsibility now in South Africa, with the guidance of Moulana Abdul Khaliq and with the Palestine Information Network and the Palestine Solidarity Alliance, came together to look at translating that action onto South African shores. And there's a few specific demands and responsibilities and actions that we are calling upon with the Muslim community.
And Moulana Abdul Khaliq on, there is a video that I think we need to play out. It's absolutely important. It's critical. That will obviously put this entire thing into context. But more importantly, I think this video is absolutely crucial to where we want to be and what we actually intend doing.
Stop what you're doing and watch this until the end.
This is an emergency. Gaza needs us more than ever.
Since the barbaric Israeli regime completely shut off all border crossings for goods,
Starvation is being blatantly used against the people.
No food, no water, no medical supplies, no fuel.
Nothing has entered since March, while thousands of aid trucks wait at Rafah, completely blocked.
Not being satisfied with starving an entire population, the savage Israeli bombing of Gaza is killing men, women, children, babies, medics, aid workers, and journalists on an industrial scale in this latest 18-month-long genocide.
Survivors are experiencing life-altering injuries and disabilities.
Israel's impunity is fueled by blind support from Western and Arab nations, primarily the US, the UK, and neighbouring governments, while Western media provides cover for repeated Israeli war crimes of genocide, collective punishment, and ethnic cleansing.
Authorities and international organizations have failed.
The time for political correctness is over. Egyptians have started demonstrating at the Rafah crossing. It's time for you to rise up.
Gaza needs you now.
You are urged to join a global collective of activists to force Egypt into opening the Rafah crossing for aid into Gaza by doing the following in your country throughout the month of April.
Flood Egyptian embassies with letters demanding Rafah be opened.
Demand face-to-face meetings with the Egyptian ambassador.
Mobilize civil society and stage sit-ins, demonstrations, and protests at the Egyptian embassy or consulate continuously.
Get local politicians and community leaders to support the action.
Because time has already run out.
The responsibility lies with us.
We've been speaking for 18 months.
Now is the time for direct action.
We must break the siege
by any means necessary.
Get to work.
سيد الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي حلنا بعرض الله جيب لنا ميه بس ميه احنا بنموت حلونا يا عالم حلونا وصلوا صوتنا هذا المقطع بده اياه يصل وصلوا صوتنا للناس اللي عايشه في قطر للناس اللي عايشه في تركيا للقيادات كلها الشعب بموت احنا بنموت يا عالم احنا بنموت يا عالم احنا بنموت.
Well, that towards the end of that video that was played out just speaks to Moulana, to the desperation at this point in time of the people of Gaza, that cry that is going out to the entire world, that cry that went out to Abdul Fattah Sisi, the cry that is going to the Arab leadership around the world. And Moulana, we have the opportunity here in South Africa, and someone like yourself as the president of the United Ulama Council of South Africa again, and you spoke about mobilizing and also looking at this campaign. Alhamdulillah, at this point in time, the response has been phenomenal. But again, it's about making an impact. And this impact comes, and Khalid will obviously fill us in with a lot more details, but comes the day when we go to the Egyptian embassy, when we make our voices known, when we make our voices heard. That voice has got to be strong, it's got to be powerful, it's got to be impactful.
Indeed, I listened to that particular end of that clip and I wonder myself, Ya Allah, I have not done enough. We have not done enough. I mean, really, with all our protests and actions and du'as, and we know Allah hears us and Allah listens to our du'as, how much more must be done? I mean, the reality of the situation is the Zionist butchers, despite the calls of the world, despite the United Nations resolutions or the position taken, and despite people taking some form of action, the Zionists continue with their scheming, planning, and their atrocities, their violations, human rights violations. In fact, the silence that we witness within the Arab communities, it is unbelievable. And there's reason to it. We have the freedom and the scope in our beautiful country to be able to stand together, to raise our slogan, and to be able to rally people around to say, we need to do something more. And people are responding. The fact of the matter is that we have that liberty and freedom. I mean, what more do we do to mobilize the neighbors and be able to say, we cannot be silent? And so rightfully, as Brother Khalid did say, I mean, on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, we are going to be asked, your neighbor was hungry. You did not feed your neighbor. You did not see to the need of your neighbor. Have our leaders become powerless in the face of this genocide? What is going to be the answer? What answer are we going to give to Allah? And so as a South African community, we have been in the forefront to stand up against the injustices and the atrocities against the Palestinian people. We need to remain focused. We need to be committed to this particular cause. We need to be able to say that the Rafah crossing must be open immediately. We cannot tolerate to see a child that is going to die, and the reports are coming through. The United Nations Human Rights Commission, or all the other commissions that is there, they are reporting in terms of famine and the reality on the ground. And so we need to raise our voices. It is now the time, and I would like to appeal to our ulama fraternity. I would like to appeal to our organizations in our country. I would like to appeal to all of our people that this is a moment for us, that we need to rally. We need to be able to be heard. We need to be impactful, as rightfully as you're pointing out, and to be able to say to President Sisi, this is the moment that you need to open up this border. We cannot tolerate this particular situation any further. You are a sovereign state. You cannot be dictated by the Zionist occupier. The Zionist occupation is the greatest crime against humanity. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our efforts to be counting as a means of our small little bit of contribution, inshallah al-Aziz. And may this appeal go out to one and all to be able to say, what can I be able to do to change this particular situation and to improve the condition of our children in Gaza, the women in Gaza, the people in Gaza, and that be able to create a better environment for them, whereby they can be able to receive the much needed food, the water, medicine, etc. Inshallah.
Taking time out, I know you've got to leave us, so we thank you once again, inshallah, but we will continue with the broadcast. But for now, Moulana, assalamu alaikum. We're going to keep Brother Khalid on hold, and we are going to be joined, inshallah, by a number of other panelists this evening. Brother Khalid, I think what is absolutely important, and I think looking at this campaign and the reach of this campaign, and it's got to be all inclusive, it's got to be all encompassing as well. And alhamdulillah, looking at where we are in South Africa, we've seen protests, action take place in many countries, and they're still taking place. We've seen huge protests taking place in Bangladesh, in Pakistan, in Turkey, at the Rafah crossing by the Egyptians themselves, and right across the entire world. And in South Africa now, that we've got the face of a Muslim Ummah that has taken a very, very different look. You know, previously you had your traditional Indian Malay, but we know that we've got all these other communities that are residing in South Africa, and to bring all of them together under one banner, together with other members of civil society, whether it's political parties, whether it's going to be trade unions, solidarity organizations, all of them under one roof. And I think this can send, and it has the potential to send, a very, very profound and a very, very powerful message to the Egyptian authorities, that it is from right across the entire spectrum and across the entire board that South Africans are now demanding that you open the Rafah crossing.
Absolutely. Just to echo on that, and it's exactly that. It's a demand. It's not a request. We're beyond the point of political correctness. We're beyond the point of mollycoddling and of nice words and flowery words. Our kids are being shredded. We've had more than 500 children massacred in the space of a few days. 500 children. That needs to sink in. Just because some of us may not see those on our phones, or maybe it's become too much to stomach, or it's become too difficult to watch, doesn't mean it's not happening. It is happening, and we need to take responsibility. The primary responsibility for this, to rally the South Africans, is secondary, but primary responsibility, the emphasis is on the Muslim community to step forward, young, old, irrespective of your school of thought, irrespective of which Jama'ah people are part of, irrespective of your affiliations, professionals, students, mums, dads, across the board. Everybody needs to get up and make a stand here and send a resounding message collectively to the government in Egypt that South Africa is not tolerating this, and you need to open the border, failing which we will look at further action.
For a quick ad break, and when we come back, you'll still be with us for the next half an hour or so, inshallah, and we will then connect with all the other panelists. We've got Dr. Hafiz Nadeem Ahmed, Umayya Teba, Mohammed Mahdi Pertiko, Shamshad Sayed, and Sheikh Ahmed Jamal, who will be joining us immediately after this.
Valley's Motor Spares. We supply motor spares and accessories for all makes and models of motor cars, LDVs, bakkies, trucks, and earth-moving equipment. We deliver on time, every time. Please contact us via WhatsApp on 014-592-0925 or call 014-592-0925 or visit 28 Zenderling Street, Rustenburg. Remember the name. Valley's Motor Spares.
Kids these days are smart, and when you're competing for their attention against their smartphones, you need to make smart choices, like using Sunfoil triple refined pure sunflower oil in every meal you make. It's naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether you're cooking, frying, or baking, you get the great tasting results that'll get their attention faster than the latest app. And if that doesn't work, change the Wi-Fi password. Sunfoil. Now we're cooking.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists, with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities, conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities. Your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041-583-6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za.
Aman means safety.
The Aman School of Excellence in Finetown, South Africa, is securing the futures of underprivileged children by providing world-class education in a safe and nurturing environment. Sponsor a child for only 15,000 Rand per year or any amount. A quality education at Aman presents a pathway out of poverty and a brighter future for South Africa.
Africa Muslims Agency. Empowering, educating, inspiring.
Yasin Badat Financial Advisory. Are your financial goals feeling out of reach? Yasin Badat Financial Advisory is here to turn your aspirations into achievements. Our dedicated team, armed with a history of success, is ready to guide you through the complex nature of financial and investment planning. Whether you're a seasoned investor or new to the game, our personalized solutions cater to your unique goals and risk appetite. Trust in our commitment to transparency, integrity, and excellence. Ready to unlock a world of financial freedom? Partner with us today. Call Yasin Badat Financial Advisory at +27 33 346 2071 or visit www.yasinbadat.com. Yasin Badat Financial Advisory, guiding you to financial success.
This Ramadan, make a conscious choice. Sip for change and support Palestine Drinks Africa. With every can, you help end the genocide and stand in solidarity with Palestine. Choose between our original or sugar-free options available in the case of 24. Every sip is a step towards justice. Every purchase a powerful message of unity and support for the Palestinian cause. Contact 082-888-1440 or 082-7739-556 today and be part of the change. Palestine Drinks Africa. Sip for change. Liberty for everyone.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Well, we continue with our broadcast on this Wednesday evening, and the broadcast is entirely dedicated to the 28th of April, date that has been earmarked, and calling out on the Egyptian government, calling out on its betrayal of the people of Gaza, calling for immediate action and accountability, calling for the Rafah crossing to be opened, because if there would be anyone to hear the distress call of the Palestinians, it would be the neighbors. It would be Egypt, the only Arab country that shares this border with the Gaza Strip. And this is the reason why we are having a panel discussion, because as we look at what is unfolding at this point in time, the cries for help are there. And these are cries that we cannot ignore. These are cries that we cannot be deaf to, and we've seen it right across social media, the devastation, the death, the destruction, all taking place right in front and unfolding in front of our very own eyes. And this is the reason why we have made this call, and this is the reason why we've got Khalid Vawda, Director, Social Intifada, with us, and also to be joined by a number of other panelists this evening. We've got Dr. Hafiz Nadeem Ahmed, who is the president of the Islamic Circle of Southern Africa. We've got Umayya Teba, South African Friends of Palestine. Sheikh Ahmed Jamal, a member of the Egyptian community. Mohammed Mehdi Pertical, head of AGD Africa, African Youth Association. And Shimshad Said, who will be joining us at around 8 o'clock. And I see most of the panelists are already on screen. Assalamu alaikum to all of you. And once again, Jazakallah khairan for joining us. Yes, Khalid, before we get to the other individual panelists, it's just very, very encouraging in terms of how the various communities in South Africa have embraced this campaign. And as we work towards this campaign, I'm sure there would be a lot more who will be joining, and the more, obviously, we get, the greater the impact will be. So that alone is very, very encouraging from a unity perspective and a united force speaking out against this genocide, speaking out to the Egyptian government and its inaction.
That speaks to the unifying force of the Ummah. Palestine is a central cause to the Ummah today, and it transcends nationality, it transcends ethnicity, it transcends school of thought, it transcends different types of understandings across the board. This is a unifying factor, and everybody who's come forward, like we said earlier, generally people with a shred of humanity would come forward. The fact that various communities have come forward goes to the fact that people understand that this is a responsibility and an obligation on each and every one of us. Our children, it's our children in Palestine. Then it's not Palestinian children. There is no national border between us. We are united on La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. They are our children, they are our mothers, they are our fathers, our brothers, our sisters. And we have a collective responsibility within our sphere to do the best that we can to assist and alleviate this. And again, I'll go back to what was mentioned earlier. Foremost in our thoughts should be two things. Number one, our intention for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And number two, when we're standing in front of Allah on the day of Qiyamah, and all of our children who have been shaheed during this 18-month-long genocide are there, how are we going to respond?
Certainly, Khalid. In fact, a very, very important question. Sheikh Ahmed Jamal, I'd like to actually start off with you because this particular campaign is directed at Egypt and you being a member of the Egyptian community. And I'm sure many, many people in South Africa, we know we've got many Egyptians in this country who feel exactly the same way that you are feeling, the same way that Khalid is feeling, the same way that all of us are actually feeling. And the fact that this campaign is now targeted and aimed at the Egyptian embassy. Just your thoughts, Sheikh Ahmed Jamal.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Jazakallah khair, akhi. Jazakumullah khair, Salam Media, for you having us today. First, I need to send my vote of thanks, a special vote of thanks for South African government, for our people in South Africa. Really, they show us we are one ummah. We are together. What hits our brother and sister in Gaza, get it. We get the same thing. We tell our children, our people around us, our students, the case of Palestinian is not for Palestinian people, as Brother Khalid he mentioned. This it hit our heart. For that, we need to show Allah where is the step we're going to take forward. Egyptian, especially the Egypt and Jordan. Egypt since 2013, the time which they kill our president, our first elected president in 7,000 civilization. Those people doesn't accept him to rule the country for 9 months. But they accepting this general. I'm not calling him Sisi, I call him Khasisi. They keep him to rule our country almost 12 years now. Economy is down. They sell everything for free for Emiratis. They do many things against Islam, and the America and Israel is still keeping him for what it happened now. Our brother in Egypt, majority in every way, they need to come out in the street, but they scared because they are arresting anyone who is in the scarf or Palestinian flag. They are arresting them. This man, he scared from Trump. They are working hand to hand behind the closed door. This man, he do whatever they asking him. And all of us, we see the statement yesterday and before yesterday. Even the Minister of the Defense of Israel today, he mentioned and he said, Egypt, they bring a suggestion to take the weapon of Hamas, resident weapon, out. This what this man he did. What is our duty? What is our responsibility? To come together. Yadullahi ma'al jama'ah. The hand of Allah with the groups, was united. Those people, they are working out and they killing us. And they do whatever they do now for us because we are divided. We are not united. This is Jam'iyyah, this is Salafi, this is Tablighi, we are together. We are one ummah. We are under the umbrella, as Brother Khalid mentioned, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. We are strong and we are too much and we can do a lot, but we need to trust ourselves. We need to unite ourselves. We need to become together to do something for our ummah. This is our duty. Allah will ask us individual. وَكُلُّكُمْ آتِيهِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ فَرْدًا. Every one of us will meet Allah individual. Allah will ask him what you have done for the people. You saw them and you watching them in the news every day. And we need to come out. Egyptian community must come out with us, inshallah, in this marching. This is very important. I was waiting for this marching for long, 18 months. This is important for our brother. The breast, they can breast beside Rafah. They can eat beside Rafah. They can be feel free, the Palestinian and Gaza residents beside Rafah. And this man, he closed Rafah and he travel Rafah and he do whatever he want. He take the people in the buses, thousands of buses. They send them to be in the border of Rafah to show that Trump, I'm strong and my people not accepting. But he's a liar. These people leave the people in the street. Sheikh Ahmed Yasir rahmatullahi alayh, he used to say, one march, big march in Cairo, in the middle of the heart of Cairo, better than southern rocks you send it to Israel. Because he knows if the Egyptian people, they wake up, we are 120 million Muslim, and we ready to go to Gaza. But this man, he control the people, he troubling us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make easy for all of us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us. We need to renew our intention. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among the mukhlisin. We need to make istighfar. We need to be closer to Allah. We need to make our salah, our tahajjud. It's very, very important for us. Don't say marching is enough, is not enough. To tell to teach our children, to speak with the Muslim school, to speak with a different community, Pakistani community, Turkish community, Malawian community. The people is a large, is a bigger. We need to sit together to do something for our deen first, for our qibla, ثالث الحرمين وأولى القبلتين وثالث الحرمين المسجد الأقصى. جزاكم الله خيرا.
Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh Ahmed. Really, I hear the passion, I hear the emotion, but I also hear the urgency once again. And I'd like to bring Umayya Teba into the discussion. Umayya, assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum salam, Inayat.
Yes, Umayya, just listening to Sheikh Ahmed Jamal, and I know, you've been, from at the forefront right from the beginning when this genocide is unfolded. You've attended many a protest action. You've been promoting many a boycott campaign. But right now, where we are at this critical juncture and taking our protest action now to another level, where previously it was taken against Israel, against the Zionist entity, against the United States of America. But for the very, very first time, close to 2 years into this genocide now, the fact that we are now taking this to the immediate neighbors of the people of Gaza, we are taking it to Egypt. Your thoughts?
Yes, Inayat, the Arab neighbors, Jordan, Egypt, play a huge role. And unfortunately, these Arab rulers are simply Zionists with Arab names, dressed in traditional Arab garb, but they serve the interest of Israel. From the West, we expect this sort of thing, but not from the Arabs, and that is what has been so disappointing. What traitors. And it's sad because their people are not in support of what the governments are doing. So we have to separate that. But this year, taking this protest to the Egyptian embassy is critical. And you've already discussed this, I'm sure, that it's taking place on Freedom Day, which is the day that we had our first democratic election in South Africa. It's when our constitution, new constitution, was implemented. And it's so perfect to have this protest on a day where absolutely nobody has an excuse to miss it. You can't say that you have work in the way. You can't say that you have any other commitments. Really, this has been made as easy as possible. And if anyone is looking for inspiration, think back to all the horrific, brutal things that have been happening to the Palestinians since the beginning of this specific genocide, starting just after the 7th of October. Think of the babies that had decomposed in hospitals, the newborns. Think of the pregnant women that were bulldozed alive. Think of the Palestinian hostages, though they are hostages, they're prisoners, that were raped by canines. How demonic and sick is that? And I don't understand with our people. I know that people have got protest fatigue because we're attending all the protests and we're not seeing any change. And if anything, things are just getting worse. So what more do we have to do? But my question is to the people who don't attend protests is, what more does Israel have to do to make you want to get up and scream, to want to make you attend protests? And show your support. And the other thing I hear a lot of, especially in our communities, especially with businessmen, unfortunately, is they'll say that they can't attend the protest. They're happy to give money, but they can't attend because of fear of having their faces on camera, and it will make it difficult for them to get visas to travel and that sort of thing. And you know what? That is disgusting. You can't just throw money at a problem and want it to go away. We actually need presence. We actually need bodies. We actually need to make up the numbers and the count that we see all over the world. And with Egypt, I think, yes, I know that around last year, around May, Israel actually seized control of the Rafah crossing. I don't know how much of control is still within the Egyptian rulers' control, but we have to demand that they force open that lifeline for the Palestinians, of whom something like 1.5 million people have had to migrate from other parts of the Gaza Strip to Rafah, which, as we know, was initially declared a safe zone for the Palestinians, and it has turned out not to be. Again, I'll just say I don't know how much more needs to happen for our people to show up. And, it is Freedom Day. Please, let's use our Freedom Day to protest for aid getting into the Palestinians and, of course, for the freedom of Palestine. Because like Nelson Mandela said, we are not free until the Palestinians are free.
Well, shukran for that, Umayya. Khalid, I know you're going to leave us in the next 7 or 8 minutes because you've got another meeting. But and I'm going to ask Sheikh Ahmed Jamal as well, just to clarify the issue in terms of the control of the Rafah crossing. How much control does Egypt have at this point in time, or have they just ceded complete control to this Zionist occupier? But Khalid, I just want some comments from you, and also before we take leave of you as well, comments of what Sheikh Ahmed Jamal has said and what Umayya has been talking about as well. We know that sometimes fatigue does creep in, but as relentless as this genocide has been, we don't see any fatigue on the part of this brutal, merciless, genocidal regime, and we cannot allow fatigue to creep in.
So I'm not going to repeat it. If we are feeling fatigue, and I can understand psychologically, it does become difficult to witness images and to witness videos that we're seeing of the atrocities being committed against the people of Gaza. Let's just switch thoughts for a second. What fatigue are the people of Gaza experiencing over the last 18 months? Just the other day, there was a father who buried 6 of his sons. 6 of his sons. He read the Janazah Salah for them. 2 days before that, because of sheer grief, there was a brother who was reading Janazah Salah and he couldn't stand. He fell down while he was reading Janazah Salah. So let's shift our focus away from us and me and I, and let's shift our focus towards the Ummah. Again, I'm coming back to the fact that we all have an individual responsibility, which we cannot abdicate to Sisi or to bin Salman or to Abdullah or to whoever we want to. We have an individual responsibility because we are all going to be individually held account by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. So we all can do more. We need to ask ourselves, how much more am I willing to do? If we say our sacrifices, it's too much for us to sacrifice, well then, let's look at what sacrifices are being made in Gaza. We are nowhere near those sacrifices. So let's think a little beyond ourselves and let's think broader in terms of the Ummah and our responsibility to the Ummah. Jazakumullah khair.
Jazakallah for that, Khalid. And let's bring in Dr. Hafiz Nadeem Ahmed into the discussion. Dr. Nadeem Ahmed, assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Yes, Dr. Nadeem, The point I had made earlier is, we've seen a lot of protest action taking place right across the entire world. And I know, as the president of ICSA, the Pakistani community here in South Africa, obviously feeling exactly the same way we have. We've seen massive protests out in Pakistan, in the major cities in Pakistan. We've even seen them in Bangladesh and many, many other parts around the world. And especially looking at it from your perspective as the president of ICSA, as the Pakistani community, because once again, in an opportunity to draw all our communities together for a common purpose and a common cause. So, I'd like your thoughts, please, Dr. Nadeem Ahmed.
Thank you very much, Brother Anayat Wadi, for giving all of us an opportunity to talk about this very burning issue. We say this is not a war. We call it, this is a mass slaughtering. This is ethnic cleansing. This is genocide. And this is something that I think no word in any of the dictionaries can explain what is happening in Gaza, in Rafah, and all that part of that the world. So it has been since last 1.5 years, and we are witness that over 50,000 people have been killed for no reason, and world is quiet. I must say, the entire world is quiet. Everyone is seeing, everyone is witnessing what is happening through social media, through electronic media, through print media, and they are trying, and they are keep continuing killing these human beings. So it is not the matter of anything else. We as a human being, we should look at it as a matter of humanity, a matter of lives. We should look it as a matter of the killing of innocent children, women, old men, and on top of everything, so all borders touching to that Gaza, Rafah, and all that area are closed. The people living in that cage, I must say, they are not having water, they are not having basic needs to eat, and there are thousand people, they are injured due to this war since last 18 months. They don't have medication, they don't have any hospital, any clinic. So we cannot explain it, what is happening in Gaza. So it is a time for all of us to wake up. It is our responsibility to raise our voices, and it is our responsibility to do whatever we can do for our brothers and sisters living in Gaza and Rafah. So we should take it as a matter of human being, is a matter of humanity. As our brother was mentioning, that we need to go and knock the door of the Egypt government so that they can open the Rafah crossing, so that at least basic needs, human need, can be reached to those people. So we are standing with them, and I think not only the people living in this country, but I must say, and I must request all humanity loving people across the world, they must stand, and they must say, and they must call to Egypt government so that they can open the border, so that their basic human needs can be reached to our brothers and sisters living in a cage since last 18 months. So world know about this, what is happening. We no need to explain what is happening there, but we need to say that we should stand with humanity. We should stand with humanity, and we should play our role. So yes, we are saying that if there is any protest happening, it is our basic responsibility to take part into that, so that on the day of judgment, when Allah will ask us. This is what was happening with the people of Palestine, people of Gaza, people of Rafah, and they were in a war. They were in a very difficult situation. What you did for them, and so that we can we can tell to our Almighty that yes, we were living in South Africa. What was this we were able to do, and we did try to play our role. So whenever this protest is going to be announced, I must say, and I must request the communities, regardless of any race, any religion, any color, so we must come forward and show our solidarity with the people of Gaza and Rafah.
Nadeem Ahmed, and let's bring Mohammed Mahdi into the discussion, and obviously looking at it from a youth perspective as well. And we've seen many young people identifying with the people of Palestine, with the cause of Gaza as well. And once again, Mohammed Mahdi, this gives an opportunity to draw in as many young people as possible, and for young people to come out in their numbers, because when we look at Gaza, when we look at the genocide that is unfolding in Gaza, many young people, youth, children, babies that have been killed, and we know that the population of Gaza, the large percentage of that population are young people like yourselves.
Thank you very much, Inayat. And I have a special thank for Salam Media to host us, to allow us to raise our voice about the Palestinian issue. Jazakumullah khair, shukran jazilan again. So when it comes to youth perspective, I think the youth are the one who are running the resistance in anywhere in the world. So this is the case, this is a true case that everyone is missing. Any resistance without youth, it's incomplete. And inshallah, our brothers and sisters in Palestine, at the end, they will inshallah succeed as South African youth, they succeeded in apartheid regime. Before moving any other parts, I really was listening the entire ulamas and the NGO leaders, and I found that they were mentioning most of the part of the case that we need to discuss. But I just realized that there is 2 points that is missing, and we need to also emphasize this. So first of all, as a Muslim young people, we feel ashamed to protest a Muslim country embassy in a foreign soil. But unfortunately, our leaders give no other choice to us. Our leaders are only keeping their throne safe with becoming silenced against the genocide. Not only that, they are now helping genocide with supplies, materials, and logistics. Can you imagine? Now Muslim leaders and countries even could not do what South African government did for Palestine. Non-Muslim country. Now South African government and its citizens are paying the result of these consequences, sanctioned by USA, as everyone knows now. If we don't want South Africa to be quite volatile for Muslims in the coming years, we as Muslim community have to push more support to government, their actions against Israel, what they have done in ICG through protest. So we need to do more protests, more marching, putting more pressure so that they can get this braveness from us and that they can continue. So we need to push Zionists in the corner as much as possible with effective works, not only marching, through academia, through media. We all as South Africans, we need to push them, put them in the courts, find the special cases. Another thing that I also want to focus on is that the program that we are going to host, inshallah, is our duty. What our brothers and sisters from Gaza requested from us. So this is what they request from us. If we even cannot do this, it's a kind of minimum what we can do. So what else can we do for them? We need every Muslims and non-Muslims to come with their families, their children, at least to comply this duty, this small, minimum duty. I just also want to mention about the call of jihad from ulamas. As we all know, jihad means is not only to sacrifice your life, it's to sacrifice. For South African citizens, for Muslims, at least we need them to sacrifice their time for a very important purpose. So there are a lot to say, but I want to just break it here. If I can get any chance in the future, inshallah, I will add more. But I really thank Salam Media to give us this opportunity. We all need to be one, to put Zionists in the corner and to establish a new world without any Zionist entity. Jazakumullah khair, Bradina. Shukran jazilan for giving us this opportunity.
I see Sister Shamshad Sayed has joined us as well. We will obviously continue after this. I need to go for a quick break, and when we come back, we will then continue, inshallah.
Searching for elite local and international investment and advisory services from an award-winning firm? Look no further than the Belmont Mayer Group, your gateway to unparalleled investment and wealth management. At Belmont Mayer, we believe in the art of wealth creation, a meticulous process fueled by our unwavering commitment to excellence. With a focus on providing elite alternative investments and quality advice, we also pride ourselves on maximizing value for our esteemed investors, as seen through our consistent outperformance. Your financial success is our top priority. Join us at Belmont Mayer and experience the difference firsthand. Ready to embark on a journey of greatness? Contact us today. Reach out to the Belmont Mayer Group on 078 786 1698. Call or WhatsApp or email us at info@belmontmayer.com. Elevate your financial future with Belmont Mayer, where every detail matters.
In South Africa, countless numbers of sick patients leave their homes at the crack of dawn to join long queues at clinics and public hospitals, many of them suffering pangs of hunger in addition to the symptoms of disease. The Al Imdad Foundation's Slice for Life teams deliver sandwiches to these patients at more than 40 hospitals and clinics across the country. Help us to keep on relieving hunger. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Penny Appeal's Education First campaign helps children to get access to quality education.
I'm 14 years old. When I grow up, I'd like to be a scientist.
We believe every child belongs at school,
And we want education, a better education.
learning and dreaming their way to a better future. With your help, we can provide classrooms, desks, stationery packs, and school shoes. Help make these dreams a reality. Visit www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Vawda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and free zakat calculation. Visit us at 534 Rich Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Vawda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Conveniently located along the banks of the Crocodile River bordering the Kruger National Park, as a guest at Buckler's Africa Lodge, one can enjoy an amazing sunrise or sunset on our spacious deck area while you catch a glimpse of some wildlife sightings along the Crocodile River. The sounds of the African savannah will greet you whilst you enjoy your morning coffee. Buckler's Africa Lodge by Tingana Collection. Buckler's Africa Lodge is ideally situated only 6 kilometers from the Crocodile Bridge Gate in the Kruger National Park. Catering for all travelers with variety, we have 4 types of the finest rooms: superior rooms, deluxe suites, and 2-bedroomed family units. Each room is equipped with the finest amenities to make your stay unforgettable. Guests can choose between the self-catering option or book their accommodation with breakfast and dinner included. Buckler's Africa Lodge is your ideal location for the ultimate Kruger getaway experience. We specialize in exhilarating and educational game drives in Kruger, tailor-made to suit your family. Inquire about our various accommodation offerings and other activities. Visit www.tingana.co.za for more information. Buckler's Africa Lodge by Tingana Collection. Experience the pulse of Africa with us.
Abu Huraira narrated that he heard the Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, say, "In black seed there is a healing for every disease except death." This Ramadan, experience the health benefits of this ancient blessed seed by using the Tib Black Seed range. Black seed assists the body to boost immunity, regulate blood sugar levels, reduce inflammation, and act as a potent antioxidant. Experience a holistic approach to health by introducing the Tib Black Seed range into your Ramadan routine. Available in capsules, pure cold-pressed oil, and a vapor rub. Trust Tib Health Sciences for quality black seed products. For more information, visit blackseed.co.za. Available at leading pharmacies.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Well, as we continue with our discussion this evening, and we are talking about the action for calls for Rafah to be open permanently and unconditionally, as we talk to our panelists this evening. And earlier on, we had Khalid Vawda and Moulana Abdul Khaliq Ali. And we are now, we've got Dr. Nadeem Ahmed, Umayyad Teba, Mohammed Mehdi, Shamshad Sayed, Sheikh Ahmed Jamal, and also we've got Brother Ali Akbar from the Central President from the Islamic Forum of Africa as well. And just to remind our viewers this evening that please keep a lookout at the Instagram handles for Social Intifada and for the PSA as well. Just have a look at their Instagram handles, because a lot of information will be shared from now right until the 28th of April, hopefully, when that day arrives, when the protest action is taken against the embassy out in Egypt. Brother Ali Akbar, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think your mic may be muted, Brother Ali. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Brother Inayat, how are you? How are everyone?
Alhamdulillah. I'm doing exceptionally well. Sister Shamshad, welcoming you as well. Assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukran for having us, and shukran jazeelan to Salam Media and Brother Khalid Vawda for bringing all this together. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, Brother Ali, let's talk to you as the Central President of the Islamic Forum of Africa. And once again, as we are drawing in people from various communities who are now residing in South Africa, like we've seen Brother Nadeem from the Pakistani community, Sheikh Ahmed Jamal, the Egyptian community as well. And just looking at the Islamic Forum of Africa, now we know we have many people from Africa that are now residing in South Africa from various countries, Muslim countries as well, countries like Somalia and many other countries. And just looking at it from your perspective and putting into context this action that we are talking about, but also in terms of Africa and its position on the genocide that is unfolding in Gaza?
Alhamdulillah, I'm presenting Bangladeshi community actually. Is a Bangladeshi-based Dawa organization, Islamic for Africa. We protest, as you see that the beginning of the programs that Bangladesh held as a big, largest program in Bangladesh, and also it's been a week. Bangladesh having different kind of protest from all ulama, also the coming together. All political party except that one who was resigning in Bangladesh, Awami League, who was the former president, former prime minister party. Only that party, except that party, all other party was attending with that program. Even student organization, youth organization also is protesting in Bangladesh, and is one of the largest protests, as you know, that is happening last week. And also here in South Africa, we have number of the people of South Africa, and then we have been working for Mozambique, also Islam for Africa, also working at Mozambique, Lesotho, Swaziland as well. So everywhere we try to always we want to just avoid the people to protest about against this Zionism. First of all, is a very unfortunate that is happening. What is happening in Gaza? You see, like even the humanitarian organization that those like call, I can say international, or I can say UN and all other parties, they also taking action as like even for a prisoner. A prisoner also get his human demand like as food or medicine aid, everything. But Gaza people now this time, like from the last of March, the 3rd of the March, from the 3rd March, they don't get anything from like outside the country. People want to help these Gaza people. People want to help the Palestinian people. Unfortunately, we getting stopped by our brothers. I want to say our brother because this is the Muslim country. Egypt is one of the biggest Muslim country, and unfortunately, this government is now is with Zionism people. They want to keep their own power only. All Arab leaders, unfortunately, even our president, our new the chief advisor of the interim government, Dr. Yunus, he's very closer to the America. But although he still is raising his voice against Palestinian genocide, I don't know what can make us wake up, as a sister said, that what can make us cry, or what can make us out of the house, what can make us cry to the Allah that what is happening in Gaza. As you see that people is dying, like I don't know, is like last 1 week back, we see that the muezzin give azan Allahu Akbar, then his bomb blasting his body, and is flying like a flash. So I can say that like is very unfortunate for our people. I think what I want to give message to our community, specifically Bangladeshi community and all other Islam Muslim community. I want to say all the community by the Salam media that please we should wake up now. We should have wake up. We shouldn't be tired because these people are dying each and every day, and we shouldn't tired to protest, and we shouldn't tired to be stand for the people of the Gaza, people of the Palestine, because Palestine is the heart of the Ummah. So if we just see that we're sleeping while the people are dying each and every day, and then we are sleeping, we eating, we do our own job. And as I say that I was telling Brother Jamal was after I protesting the last Monday, we was protesting in Forsberg from the Islamic Forum Africa. We had a small gathering we stand for Gaza. That day I found the people like they said they're afraid for the government because they don't want to protest because, well, as I said, the Egyptian people, they don't want to come out because they're afraid for the government, because they arrest and they torture them and this and that. There's a lot of problems here. That's very unfortunate for the Muslim Ummah. The Muslim people, when against the Zionists we are raising our voice, then the Muslim leaders stop our voice. They just try to cut our throat because we are raising our voice. So I would like to thank Brother Khalid and his all alliance, especially Brother Nazim and all these people. And we yesterday we have also a nice meeting. We will inshallah join. 28 will be a big protest, and will not only this one will be the beginning of our protesting. As we say that we will start inshallah. This we couldn't stop our activities. We couldn't stop. We couldn't be tired. I want to say that people of the Muslim Ummah don't be tired, because they don't tired to die. So we shouldn't we shouldn't be tired for like we stand for our brothers. And one thing I can see that if we can see next to you, if you see the children of yours is still sleeping next to you, and you must feel that the brother of the sister and brothers, they lost their children at Gaza. And you see that, I don't know, I want to say that the world, if anyone here, our boys, that please be shameful of because of your position, what you are doing now. Because each and every day they're killing people, and then you would stop because it's not you. But tomorrow it will be turned to you. If you say that Arab people, if you want to alive, but people, if no one alive in the like rest of their lives, like day of Qiyamah, we have to die. But please die like a lion, like the stronger man, not like a shameful dying. Don't die like a useless people. And then you said like you are afraid for your life, but while the people each and every day they are fighting against this Jainism. So thanks, Brother Inayat and then Salam Media, that you have been calling us, specifically the brothers we are being also good alliance here for the we try to do something in especially Brother Jamal, Brother Nadim, and then Brother Ahmed Mehdi, Muhammad Mehdi, and then others. We have a nice alliance. We also have a plan. We'll inshallah gather big gathering inshallah in 28th. So I would like to thanks again Brother Khalid, Brother Nadim, and Salam Media, also Brother Inayat, and each and everyone. Also raise our voice against Zionists, and inshallah we'll raise our voice till we dead inshallah.
Inshallah, Ameen. Jazakallah khairan so much for it, Brother Ali. Sister Shamshad, assalamu alaikum to you once again. What more can I tell you? Because, the last 18 months and even prior to that as well, you've been very, very much a part and been right at the forefront of many and activist cause together with the South African National Muslim Women's Forum, South African Women United for Gaza as well. We've had so much interaction over a period of time through the campaigns that we've hosted at Salam Media. Here's another opportunity once again. And I'm sure, you've, and I've just seen some of your posts yesterday, also on the group, on the latest with regard to the ceasefire, where you raised some very, very serious issues, some serious concerns. And even with the ceasefire proposals as well, the complicity of the Arab governments, the Egyptian governments, the call to disarm the resistance movements like Hamas as well. So much is playing out on a political level as well, Sister Shamshad.
Ji, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and assalamu alaikum to the rest of the panel. It's an honor to be in your company. Brother Inayat, yes, alhamdulillah, we're unafraid. My favorite saying, according to, being politically active over the years as well, but basically a humanitarian journalist as such, it raises your conscience. And I think people have been asking, what can we do? How can it? Once your conscience level is raised, then you can act, then you can speak, then you can talk, then you can feel, then you can do, then you can fast, then you can do tahajjud, etc. But your conscience level needs to be raised. And I think as women, we have a proud history in this country to be alert to what is happening. The genesis of the armed struggle in this country was put forward on 12th August 1956, when four women led a march, and that the precursor it was to the 1961 Sharpeville massacre and the 1976 riot. So we had a Muslim woman there called Ebrahim Moosa as well, that raised the conscience of the Ummah as well as the country, etc. And we have a precedent in our regard, the Ummahatul Ummah. Every wife of Rasulullah was present at the battlefield, if not some, but not one, but some. And so this gives us an idea the resistance, where it comes from, the concept of resistance is in Islamic God to fight oppression, because that will be question about did we stand up to the oppressor? What is the greatest jihad? Is to speak the truth in the presence of a tyrant oppressor. We've talking about the political, we can talk at length about the treachery of not only Arab but Muslim countries as well. But I want to concentrate on the humanitarian aspect, rather, Inayat. I think what we've done. We did the best we could. We've also been on a conscience convoy years ago in 2018, where we stood and we saw at the oppressor, who is now defunct, alhamdulillah, to be precise, Assad. And the time is coming for the heads of all oppressors to roll. This is the time. But it's not going to happen without the commitment of the Ummah. We have 2 billion Muslims who are cursing Israel at the moment. But at the same time, we need to tell the oppressors, we know the Arab countries have fought 6 wars and they've lost, and the leaders that stood up against Israel have been annihilated and destroyed, one being our very, very, very favorite President Morsi. So they've stood up, but the thing is, it requires civil society. Civil society has the power to move governments, and women are the nucleus of society. Whichever way you turn, and if you look at in Gaza as well, if you compare the men of Gaza to the rest of the men of the world, our men are wearing jewelry. The only jewel of a man is his weapon. We need to teach this from the womb, that you are a soldier of Islam. Always a soldier first. You're a fighter for the truth. You're a fighter for justice. And justice and jihad is speaking the truth in the presence of a tyrant oppressor. Do not be afraid to speak truth to power. And this is what we are calling. We've always done this. And when you do social upliftment, as in the tradition of the wives of Rasulullah, when they wanted opulence, for 29 days, Rasulullah did not have a verse. He left them. And on the 29th day, a verse came down to say, oh, you were wives, Ummahatul Ummah, if you want opulence, you can be divorced. You need to do social upliftment. So each woman had a talent. She used her talent. Hazrat Zainab knew how to sew saddles, so she used her talent to teach others. She used to sew saddles for the men for the battlefield. Hazrat Safiya, who was a Jewess, knew about agriculture. So she taught the Ummah about agriculture. We have this talent, but what requires of us now is to pool those talents, to bring together the strength of the Ummah. Let's not depend on the non-Muslims. Yes, the global world is aware of what is going on. There are 8, maybe 7 billion people that have realized what Israel is all about. They have realized they're oppressors, they're occupiers, they are act with impunity, they are starving people, they are killing people, they're shredding people, they are dehumanizing people. This happened for a very, very long time. But I have hope that with our du'as and our curses, for Israel, our du'as, that we are going to get somewhere. I am very confident in 2027, we will see a liberated Al-Aqsa, not just a liberated Gaza. But in the interim, it requires us to be forthright, to be steadfast, to be righteous, to be firm, to be strong. And I want to appeal as a woman to our brothers and our sons. Now is the time to show your manliness. We have done as women for a very long time. I remember, Brother and I, we come from a very, I think, militant background, not just for the apartheid era, but I think when it came to Islam, we were in the forefront of fighting for what Islam has to say. Unafraid now, and I think as you get older and mature, you become even more stronger in the struggle. We are appealing to the men to get yourselves instead, in line, to lead the way. We want leaders. You all, the men want us to be Aishas, alhamdulillah, and Fatimas, and Zainabs, and alhamdulillah. We also want Muhammads, We also want the leaders to come forth from our men. Lead the way, because now is the time to talk, and you can't talk now. And you're going to be afraid as a new set of Arab rulers are, because you're only worried about one, you're only worried about position and power and fame, and that power will be destroyed. It's coming, it's going to come to all the oppressors. It's coming, it's on its way there. But it requires our commitment. And those warriors in Gaza have shown the world what true men look like, act like, are like. This is the time to show the world that it's a time for the Mujahid. It's a time to show the face of the Mujahid. I'm not taking the physical face, but look at how they cover themselves to show they're unafraid to do what they have to do. We've seen so many wars. It's the 6-day war. In 6 days, the Arabs were defeated. We have now 18 months. We're looking at the genocide. Yes, it's happening. At the same time, it is revealing the strength of the resilience, and Hamas is alone in this. The strength of the resilience of this tiniest strip of land in the world. Coming forth from there, such strong warriors. What kind of women have given birth? What kind of wombs have given birth to these men that are unafraid? 83%, of the Hamas leaders were orphans. And the elite members are what? They are Hafiz al-Qur'ans. What does this tell us? Are we doing something right or wrong? How are we raising our children? No? Are they afraid of the weapons or afraid to speak the truth? What is the problem? How have we raised them? The time has now come, as we said, not to be politically correct. We have been politically correct. We are politically correct. But the little, from the GNU, the little parameters we have to operate within, we don't have the kind of freedom that we had before this, but we must operate within those parameters to speak the truth and to use our voices. You see, our Egyptian brothers are afraid to speak in Egypt, but they can speak in South Africa. Our brothers in maybe in other parts of the Muslim world can't raise their voice, we can do it in South Africa. So thank Allah for what we have. I want to look at it from a very positive point of view. Now is the time to use your voice, When we're looking at maybe losing our homes, I mean, Gazans, they're losing their homes every day. How many homes have they left? There are people that have migrated and had experienced the Nakba over 17 times. They've moved from house, from north to south. People in Gaza are not people from Gaza. They are people from all parts of Palestine that were moved out during the Nakba, and they came to settle there. That's why it's called refugee camps. I've been, and I can tell you that the resilience of the people of Palestine is unlike any other. It's what humanity should look like. It is what men should look like. It is what women should look like. The people of Gaza in particular, I'm not referring to the West Bank, I'm referring to the people of Gaza. At the end of the day, they did it for what? They did it for the flood of Al-Aqsa, to find Al-Aqsa, to liberate Al-Aqsa because of the humiliation of the Muslim worshippers at Al-Aqsa. We need to put all this together to understand that it is a collective duty, not just of the people of Gaza, but entire humanity to stand for what is right and what is and against what is wrong. So yes, Brother Inayat, as women, we are unafraid to say we have said it in the past, we will continue to do so, and we give credit to those leaders that gave their lives for the cause. Sheikh Ahmed Yassin has said, 2027, we will see the liberation of Al-Aqsa. And we make dua towards it. But I say, as a collective, to our youth, to our men, especially to our men, it's never too late to become a man, to say the truth, to act with truth, to speak fearlessly, to act fearlessly, and to send this message across. I'm just afraid, and I have to throw this in, that what worries us is that some family members just returned from the West Bank, from Al-Aqsa, and they are very afraid that there is a tendency in the youth that is similar to the rest of the world, where this hedonistic culture has now taken over, and sometimes the girl just walks out of the house and can be in the old city as well, doesn't have a hijab, etc. Maybe that's not important, but at the end of the day, where are our men? Because you're a shepherd, So we're fighting a battle on many fronts, but now is the time in South Africa. If I had my way, Brother Inayat, we would be leading the conscience convoy from Cape Town, Johannesburg, Pretoria, Durban, etc., to Egypt. To Egypt. I've been on that journey, and I can tell you, went to 16 checkpoints to get to Rafah. And it was a tough journey. Then already in 2009, we were collecting evidence for the Gaza docket. And as we went to checkpoints and we took footage by stealth, people who live in Egypt will tell you how oppressed people are to speak truth to power. They don't have the kind of freedom that we have to speak about what is right and wrong. But as women, we are a purely women team, and two others, as Mahram said, we went and we got the footage and we saw the equipment the entire world sent for Gaza at the time in 2009, rotting at the Al Arif Stadium. And I had my camera under my arm, and the camera for me is not for celebrity. It was to show the truth. That's a form of jihad. There's two wars being fought. One is this physical war. Hamas is doing that. The information war is what we need to win, and we are doing that. But we need it to be more on a war like that. We need to start knocking the drums now for war, to say this is a war. I mean, Israel is acting with impunity. Zionists are acting with impunity. And I don't want to brand all Jews the same, because I have friends in Nature Karta who were saying that they're standing with humanity in fighting off Zionism. So at the end of the day, it must be led by Muslims, because Islam tells us, instructs us, implores us to fight oppression. No matter against who it is, against kith and kin, we need to fight the oppression. And now is the time to do it collectively. And if we could, as I said, we would be marching, even if it took us 10 days or 20 days to go to the Rafah border through Egypt, or even saying we could have went through Syria and stood at Golan Heights, and if we marched, so be it. But at the end of the day, something needs to be done to break the siege. Something needs to be done to feed and clothe and the people of Gaza. It may be a small population, but look at the fight they put, the gallant fight they're putting up for 18 months. It has never been done in history where such a small group of people are standing up against a superpower of our time, because it's not just Israel, it's America and a whole lot of others. We know that they're in the forefront of the supplying weapons. New weapons came in this morning from America to Israel. So you can imagine what they have in mind for a tiny strip of land. But Allah is with us, and inshallah, if we put our trust in Allah, we do it purely for Allah, purify your intention that we are doing this for you, Allah, that we are doing it for your creation, because you will question us. And if we fail, we tell Allah we tried our best. If we succeed, alhamdulillah. So either victory or martyrdom, as the people of Gaza say, inshallah.
Inshallah, Jazakallah khairan so much for that. And I hear your passion, Sister Shamshad, in making that appeal to the men of the Ummah. And this is our appeal as well. And time and again, with the many campaigns that Salam Media has hosted, and if it wasn't for the support of the women, really, I don't know, I shudder to think what could have actually happened. So always at the forefront, Jazakallah for that as well. And to all our sisters.
Brother, can I just add something? I think one important fact that we've overlooked is the work of the journalists. They've been killed, journalists after journalists, because they talking truth to power. So we must expect a violent, maybe a brutal retaliation, but each one of us has to be a journalist. What does a journalist do? It conveys very much like how the hadith was conveyed. We have to convey the truth to the world, to say what we see, we share. The facts we share, it has to be the facts and the truth. We need to do that. Our journalists' blood must not be in vain, inshallah.
Inshallah, Jazakallah for that. Sheikh Ahmed, I know you've been holding on, and I know the rest of the panel obviously have been listening, but we've got such a huge panel, and we're trying to be obviously fair on everybody. Sheikh Ahmed, I think what is important, and I think the one issue that Umayya had raised early on in terms of, just how much control does Egypt actually have over the Rafah crossing, or have they lost complete control?
Jazakallah khair, Brother Niyat, Sister Shamshad, Jazakumullah khair. If you have a calamity, or if you have a big loss in your family and what you love, you say Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. As an Egyptian, this is not Egypt. The Egypt which we prepare to march in front the embassy. The embassy of Egyptian in South Africa is the land of Egypt, is a place of Egypt. This time we must make a plan to marching against Israeli embassy, not Egyptian embassy. I'm feeling shame. I'm very shy to talk in front of our sister and our brother here, which they defend Al-Aqsa. Hamas and the women resident in Gaza, it defend Egypt before anyone. It protect Egypt before anyone. But those people, they control our country now. It do not belong to us. We're not accepting them. They make everyone scared to come out, to raise the voice against Israel and what it happened. We're not accepting, as the Egyptian majority, the people, they not happy at all, but they scared. The police, they control the country from the north to south. No one can talk. This man, he say, we not accepting the immigrant from Rafah to Egypt, but he's a big liar. But anyway, as we see what it happened in Syria. We are waiting for this moment. We are waiting to come out from the prison. This man, he arrests, brother Inayat, almost 100,000 scholars, professor, leader, which they brought the country out. If the people they calling us to marching, all of us we are outside in the street, from village to village, city to city. But now Egypt die. But we are waiting for the time of Bashar. Second message for me. We can talk until tomorrow, but we coming for our leader. Our leader in this moment is the ulama, is the scholars. I'm not going to accept the alim or da'iyah. He say, I'm a leader, I'm a alim. And he have in the social media, as Sister Shamsad, she mentioned now, we need all of us to be journalists in the social media. He have a follower, million and million, and he never ever mentioned about what's happening in Gaza. Or he didn't mention about Israeli names. Just he talking about the najasa and tahara and salah. Allah is not going to accept it. We need our ulama to raise the voice out. We'll follow all the ulama and the dua to come out. This voice it come out from the big alim in Pakistan 2-3 days ago. You see how is the huge number. It come out in Bangladesh, in Pakistan, in every way. But those people, if you look at and you read the map nicely, see what it happened in Egypt and Saudi Arabia and Emiratis. Emiratis direct opening, they say our fighting, our big war is against Muslim Brotherhood and Hamas. Those people is a dictatorship. They're not accepting any freedom it happen in the Middle East because they know no space for them in the future. Now all the ulama in the Saudi Arabia, which is one alim, if he come out and he spin the word and he raise his voice, all the ummah will follow him. But they keep him quiet and put him in the prison 10 years. Same thing in Egypt. Why? To help the Israel to do what they have to do now for our brother and sister. Do you know in Rafah, Palestinian Rafah, we have a two Rafah, Egyptian Rafah and Palestinian Rafah. The Palestinian Rafah, my brother, Palestinian Rafah is a half of the residents there. They married from Egyptian Rafah. They are family. They are family. But now they can't take the food inside. The food becoming rotten now, thousand truck. But you speaking about Rafah, Egypt control Rafah, never ever. Israel, they make a plan after the ceasefire stop and they starting again. The Israel, they starting to attack all the Palestinian Rafah, step by step, to go to Khan Yunis. Why? Because if now we're raising our voice and we go for the Egyptian, we ask them open the border, he will tell you direct, it's not our fault, it's not our problem. We open it, we need to do it for our brother, but we can't go for Israeli and ask them to open it. This is the plan for these people who not control Rafah at all. This man, he sell Rafah for free, as he sell Tran and Sanafir for Bin Salman, and he's selling now our country base for Emiratis, not for Emiratis. Emiratis is a representative in behalf of Israel to control Egypt in the other way. Brother and sister, we need our ulama to come out, to raise the voice, to come front of the people. Our leader is not the army leader in Egypt or in Middle East. Our leader is not those people, the dictatorship. Those people, no one elected them. No any democratic election it happened in the Middle East at all. But now we need our ulama to come out. If you look at in Egypt, Al-Azhar belongs to him. He put a policeman to Sheikh Al-Azhar. In the fatwa department, also he put the policeman there. Any fatwa he needed, he sent to the mufti, and mufti come out and to give the fatwa. against against Hamas or against those people to defend themselves. My respected brother and sister in Islam, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use us to raise our voice for the haqq, for the truth. Allah will ask us. Now, the people they mention, yes, majority of the Egyptian people, they scared to come with us to marching against the Egyptian embassy. The reason is they need to go back to visit the family. I lost my father and I can't go to Egypt 13 years. Now, one of our brother in the meeting yesterday, I brought him in front of everybody. His wife and his mother-in-law, they went to Egypt to make operation. They tried to come back. They refused them 1.5 years now. They can't come back and they take the passport from them. They have a South African ID, but doesn't allow them to come. Why they do that? Because of Palestine. Why they arresting 100,000 of ulama? Because of Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. Those people, they knows if they leave everyone to raise his voice, no Israel in the morning. What is Israel? How many population? There's 6 million. 6 million is not one village in Egypt. My respected brother, we need to work hard to come out together, hand to hand, bring our family, our children. We need to show the people we are stronger. We are now. Don't wait for this alim or this sheikh is not coming. Didn't make fatwa. He says marching is haram. We'll make dua inshallah in the masjid. There's nothing wrong. Dua is very important. But we need to raise our voice against this dynasty, against what it happened. And inshallah, as soon as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help us. Now the people they say, yeah, but Hamas must stop. Because we lost 50,000 or 60,000 of our brother. What is the beneficial? I ask them, what is the beneficial of Omar al-Mukhtar in the time against the Italian 20 years? Read all the history, the battle or the war, any war in Islamic war. See how many we lost among us, among the Sahaba, among the Tabi'een, Muhammad al-Fatih. All the war you must sacrifice. You must pay. We're not happy. We crying. Our heart is so. But we supposed to sacrifice to get and to reach our goal. Our goal to inshallah to make salah in the Masjid Al-Aqsa. This one is our qibla. Is the first qibla and Salisul Haramain. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use us to raise our voice for the haqq inshallah.
Ameen, Jazakallah khairan. And, likewise, from a media perspective as well, this appeal actually goes out to all our media platforms as well to start raising our voices. Sister Umayya, I see we've got about 13 minutes. So starting with you, Sister Umayya, perhaps, I see there's how many, 5, 6 of us, so possibly looking at about 2 minutes. Just some final thoughts, and then we'll go around through each panelist. I think your mic is muted.
On the 18th of March, when Israel unilaterally broke the ceasefire, that's like a month ago. Since then, there are no operational bakeries in Gaza. The last functioning hospital in Gaza, the Al-Ahli hospital, was attacked. And, over the several nights ago, something like 300 women and children were murdered in one night, in about 50 minutes. And so the escalated brutality of the genocidal Israeli regime is on another level. And, before the 7th of October, I believe there were 500 trucks entering through Rafah into Palestine or into Gaza every day. And then in the beginning of this year, I think around February, when there was the ceasefire deal brokered, it was about 100 trucks. And now again, absolutely nothing. So no fuel, no water, no food, no medical supplies. And so the situation is dire, it's desperate, it's catastrophic. And I will say, if you're feeling anything like me, completely helpless and frustrated, and even actually guilty as we go about our daily tasks, when you're eating, you feel guilty. When I sleep in peace, I feel terrible. And it's not about me, but what I'm trying to say is that in feeling helpless, we need to also know that there are actions that we can take, and protesting is one of them. Showing up on the 28th of April, which is Freedom Day, is absolutely critical. And it's, if we can do boycotting along with that, we have to weaponize our wallets. We have to consciously spend our hard-earned money, not giving it in any way to be complicit with the Zionist regime and the companies that support it. So, each and every one of us needs to make protesting and boycotting the tasks that we can take, that we have the freedom to take, to really prioritize these actions. And a reminder, it's so important to remember that the aim of our protest on the 28th of April at the Egyptian embassy is about getting aid into the Gaza Strip, not necessarily getting people out, because that's another topic altogether. But regarding people leaving, people can be displaced. And I think that does obviously, as we know, tie in with the United States and Israel's plan to ethnically cleanse the area. They would love for Palestinian people and Gazans to just disappear. So that is another topic altogether, but this is about getting aid in. It's the very least. They have rights to food, rights to the kind of freedoms that we enjoy. And so I will just remind everyone once again, please, whatever you're doing, make it a top priority to attend this protest. And this is a sincere appeal.
Well, shukran. Yes, shukran for that, Umayya. Let's go to Dr. Nadeem Ahmed. Just final thoughts from you. 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. I think a lot have been already said about what is happening there in Gaza and what Israel did and what the situation is there. So I must say at the end that it is a time for all of us to wake up and stand for the oppressed people of Palestine. So that is what we need, and that is what is required at this time. So that is what our brother and sister in Gaza, they are expecting from us. They want us to at least raise our voice for them, so that already the world knows about what is happening that they in Gaza, but they want us to raise our voices so that they at least maybe get some kind of relief from these cruel people, I must say. They are sitting in Israel. So it is on us now whether we are going to sit in our own rooms in a comfort, or we are going to raise the voice for the oppressed people living in Israel, in Gaza. So I think being a human, so I must say not only the Muslim, but all those they love the humanity, they must stand and they must come out with their families, with their women, with their kids, with youth, and all of us, it is our responsibility to spread this message on a larger scale. Whoever is living in around us, in our streets, in our areas, in our complexes, whoever we have in our contact list, we need to send them messages on a larger scale. And I should also say that we need to call individually, one by one, and request people to come out on 28th of April to raise the voice for the oppressed people living in Gaza. Thank you very much.
Inshallah, Ameen. Jazakallah for that. And Muhammad Mahdi.
Assalamu alaikum again. I thank in the beginning to Salam Media, but I also want to thank again that brought a group of Mujahid and Mujahideen tonight to speak about the most important case of Ummah, Alhamdulillah. But I also, as a young generation, I also would like to kind of give a good news about the future, inshallah. We can never lose our hope about the future. Allah already promised us in Surah Al-Asr, Isra, وَقُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقِّ وَزَاقَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. So one of the Turkey's important leader, Najmuddin Erbakan, when he describes this ayah, he bring one of the table, like Excel table on the screen, and he describes from the prophecy times till today. We never ever in the entire history, we never faced that the one who opposed the people, the one who are zalim, never has come to power more than 100 or 120 years. So as Sister Shamsad mentioned about the Sheikh Ahmed Yasin promise to us in 2027, it's Allah never give up from his promise. So soon, inshallah, we all will see that the Zionists are going to, inshallah, collapse, and we will, inshallah, see the future is going to be for Islam. Jazakumullah khair. Shukran jazeelan.
Jazakallah for that, yes. And just on that note, we already see that implosion from within the Zionist state, where we've seen their very own pilots, their own people that are serving in the IDF, their reservists, all of them protesting. We see the thousands that are actually leaving the country. We see the protests. So that definitely, inshallah, will happen. And just as Sister Shamshad mentioned, 2027, the Palestinians have told me that 2028, book your ticket for Ramadan in Masjid al-Aqsa, and we're going to be meeting up in a free and elaborated Masjid al-Aqsa. And that is how confident, alhamdulillah, the Palestinians are. Brother Ali Akbar, final words from you.
Assalamu alaikum. I'd like to say that that this time, like everyone, why we are feeling tired, because we see like there is no hope. Because we can see that Zionism is now don't stop here. But one thing is also you have to know that the Hamas is a small group of the people. They are fighting against the superpower. So alhamdulillah, it's been long time they are still against. They're standing against these Zionist people. So that's it give us hope. So don't lose your hope, because this is the power of the jihad. This is the power of the people who love Allah, and then who we want to die for Allah. We here for Allah. We want to die for Allah. So Hamas also is dying for only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we don't have to lose our hope. And then my last message to the people, and specifically the all people of the who's hearing the Salam media and all others. I want to say that 28 will stand, and we'll stand from the 28 will be start here standing till Aqsa will be free, until we'll protest our continue our protest till Gaza will free, inshallah. And I would like to tell the Egyptian government and then Syrian government and whoever all over the world, please allow at least the aid stuff. At least if you guys even send the prisoner also, the food, the medical aid, medical things, so that at least even a prisoner also have a right. So Gaza people is a human being. Give them at least to alive. And if I feel shy that you, America, and all these big people, you sending your big weapons, but alhamdulillah, our brother didn't finish. You can't finish, because Muslims mother give the birth for the material, so you can't finish our brothers, inshallah. So thanks again, Brother Anayat, and then thank you all of my panels, and then all of the viewers, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Shamshad.
Brother Inayat, I just want to say that we must not stop boycotting, because it's working. Many multinationals are falling throughout the world. There's a global effort there. But this, what we're talking about, the 28th, it's going to be inconvenient for some people. They want to enjoy their holiday, etc. But this is what we are asking, to place aside your inconveniences and your comforts and be inconvenient, because tonight, as we speak, there are many families and mothers who are sitting in open skies, having no homes, having lost everything, with children who have been murdered. Some have lost all their children. As we know, the father has lost all his 6 children. Now is the time to put our money where our mouth is, our efforts where our mouth is, and we have to put into practice what we are saying we are going to do. And who knows, we might be able to stop the suffocation of the people of Gaza and allow the humanitarian aid to get in. If we don't stop it, civil society is the only hope that's left. Governments have done their bit, a South African government. Other governments have done nothing. Other governments are complicit. But where we have civil society in the South African context, civil society moved government. In the conquest of Mecca, it was civil society of Medina that liberated Mecca. So we have precedents that we can fall back on. You know, history is a very important subject. We learn from history, but we can make it better. Inshallah, with a collective effort, inshallah, we can show not only the strength of the Ummah, but the strength of the Ummah in trying to make it force the decision onto Egypt to open the Rafah crossing, make them feel guilty enough, horrible enough to understand that they are against humanity and they are part of the genocide by not opening the Rafah border. I also do agree that they don't control the Rafah border. I've been there because the first border that Egypt sent us to, we passed. The second border, the second crossing is controlled by Israel. Yet they say they're not there. They had phone calls, people in plain clothes had phone calls made, and we had to turn back with our baggage, etc. But be that as it may, let us make Egypt feel guilty enough, if they have a shred of humanity in them, that this is society, that is the neighbor, as we are saying, but this is the same blood, you know, with the people of Rafah on this side and that side are the same blood, the same people. It's our own, it's like our family that's starving, and the Ummah is a family. And now is the time to act. Inshallah, we'll see everybody on the 28th, and we'll make a noise, inshallah. We'll make sure, inshallah, that Egypt hears us, the world hears us, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with us. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah to Salam Media and to everybody.
I mean, Jazakallah khairan so much for that as well. Sheikh Ahmed, you know, dua obviously is the weapon of a Muslim. And just finally, just a very short dua, inshallah, to end of this evening's broadcast from yourself.
Jazakallah khair, Akhi Nayat. Inshallah, before the dua, 1 minute, we're not losing hope. Inshallah, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to meet as we meeting now in the Salam Media, to meet in Jannatul Firdaus with our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Ameen.
And we tell him we try for best. We try whatever we can do. And inshallah, we're not going to lose hope. Inshallah, the factor is coming as soon as Sisi, his son, and the Argani, they making business, they making money from the people in Gaza. They are becoming billionaire. But this money, inshallah, will go 1 minute. They will lose it one time and they will return it back, inshallah, as soon as. The purpose of this meeting, we need every one of us to bring his family, to bring his children, to bring his neighbor, friend, 28, inshallah. This is not a last and not a first. We need to be together front of the Egyptian embassy to raise our voice, which Sister Shamsat, she said, we scared to raise our voice in our country, but we get a country like this beloved country, South Africa. May Allah protect this country and lead them to go forward, because they have a lot of enemy now because of us. The position which they take a step over, this is supposed to be for us as a Arab, as an Egyptian. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make all of us to make salah as soon as in Masjid al-Aqsa, inshallah.
Ameen, inshallah.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الأولين وصل عليه في الآخرين وصل عليه في الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين. اللهم اجعل جمعنا جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل منا ولا بيننا شقيا ولا محروما. اللهم انصر المسلمين في غزة المستضعفين، وأنت العلي الكبير، أنت الجبار، أنت بيدك الخير كله يا أرحم الراحمين. ارحم ضعفاءهم، ارحم ضعفهم، وتول أمرهم، واقض حوائجهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنهم ضعفاء فقوهم، أذلاء فأعزهم. اللهم إنهم تكالبت عليهم الدنيا فكن لهم عونا ونصيرا. اللهم فرجا ومخرجا، اللهم فرجا ومخرجا، اللهم فرجا ومخرجا. اللهم سدد رمي المجاهدين، وما رميت إذ رميت ولكن الله رمى. اللهم سدد رميهم، اللهم زلزل الأرض من تحت عدوهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم نصرا مؤزرا، اللهم صلاة في المسجد الأقصى، اللهم صلاة في المسجد الأقصى كما وعدتنا، لا تدخلن المسجد الحرام كما دخلتموه أول مرة. اللهم انصرهم نصرا عزيزا يا رب العالمين، اشف جرحاهم، ارحم موتاهم، اقض حوائجهم، اطعم جائعهم، تول أمرهم، وأنت على كل شيء قدير. وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم آمين آمين يا رب العالمين.
Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. To that beautiful dua, inshallah, Allah Ta'ala accept as well. And to all our panelists, Dr. Hafiz Nadeem Ahmed, Umayya Teba, Muhammad Mahdi, Sister Shimshad Sayed, Sheikh Ahmed Jamal, and also Brother Ali Akbar earlier on. We had Brother Khalid Vawda and Moulana Abdul Khaliq Ali. Jazakallah to all of you for taking time out, alhamdulillah, and being part and parcel of this broadcast, and all important broadcasts. And obviously, alhamdulillah, kick-starting a lot that is due to take place over the next 2 weeks ahead of the 28th of April. And once again, a reminder to our listeners, our viewers, that please keep an eye out on the Instagram handles, Social Intifada PSA, and I'm sure on many, many WhatsApp groups as well. A lot of information will be shared in the build-up, and inshallah, more importantly, we make dua for a successful protest, inshallah, people turning out in the numbers, and more importantly, making a statement. And again, in terms of correcting our intention, let us do it for the sake and for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. To all of you, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاكم الله خيرا.
Well, that brings us to the end of this special broadcast ahead of this call to the Egyptian embassy, or this demand, I would say, to the Egyptian embassy to open the Rafah crossing permanently, unconditionally. And watch the space. There'll still be a lot more over the next few days as well. And inshallah, once again, urging our media houses to obviously come together as a united front as well, inshallah. Is we've seen the call for the ulama to be united as media. Let us be united in this initiative as well. At the end of the day, it is you and I that have to be the voice for the voiceless people of Palestine right now. And with that, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.